morning to those in Australia. Hopefully we have a stable enough internet connection here. We'll give it a go. Hopefully you can hear me. As always, camera's off, and if you have a question, let me know in the chat box and we'll get underway. Any questions out there, guys? Andrew McGlashan.
Thanks, Cole. Hi, Mitch. I know it was a few days ago, but you just able to sort of talk us through that final over to Andre Russell early in the T20s and what your mindset was heading into that over?
Not go for 11 runs.
I mean,
yeah, as I said that night, sorry, bowling at the death in white ball cricket's certainly been a job of mine for the vast majority of my white ball career. So look, there's times that I've got it wrong, there's times I've got it right in the past, and so yeah, it was it's not something that was new to me, and it was just go back and execute what I wanted to. So I guess I kept it as simple as that, and if I kept him under anything too much throughout my cricket, and it certainly was the same the other night. Just as I turn at the top of my mark, know what ball I want to bowl and execute it, and if I can do that, we'll win.
Is it, with so much focus on T20 cricket at the moment, is it going to be a bit of a challenge to switch back into the longer format for the next week?
Personally, no. I don't think it changes too much for me in white ball cricket. My role pretty much stays as is across T20s and one day cricket. Obviously, there's a few more overs that I need to bowl, but I'm still probably going to take the ball up front and take the ball at the back and a few overs in the middle. So I think my role doesn't change too much. I'm there to obviously bowl fast and try and take wickets and attack through taking wickets. You do it for a longer amount of time. It's probably, I guess, you got that middle period there that you don't have in T20 cricket, where the game sort of meanders a little bit, if you like. So yeah, look, it's going to be interesting. I certainly haven't played too much one day cricket. Same with the T20s really over the last little while. But yeah, I think it probably. I'm not sure whether it's suited or not, but T20s obviously is certainly suited, or a format that the West Indies excel highly at. So their personnel might change a little bit. I'm not too sure what their team will shape up to be. Obviously, we've got the same squad to choose from. So whether we go in the same sort of balanced group, I guess we'll find out in the next couple of days.
Thanks, Mitch. Cheers.
Big Mel.
First of all, can I ask you, Dr. Cole, about injury updates? Finchy and the other two guys?
No updates, Mel. McDermott should be fine. Agar is still in rehab, and Finch, no, he did some light training today, but there'll be there's no official update on him today, mate. Okay,
thank you. Mitch, I just wonder, there's been a lot of debate about club v country, and you've had the opportunity to have some sort of big money earns, obviously, at the IPL that you've rejected to get yourself right playing for Australia. I just wonder how you feel about the current situation where you're sort of playing a very good, or you were playing a very good West Indian T20 side with a severely weakened Australian team when you hadn't been to the IPL and you had made sure you were okay. Just wondered what your feeling was about that scenario.
Yeah, I've got my own personal views, but at the same time, it's each of those guys are going to have different situations, which I guess determine their decisions on this tour. But yeah, I think obviously you throw in conversations about different bubbles and quarantine periods and the like. Obviously, that would have come into some guys' decisions. Ultimately, we're here with a strong group of Australian guys, some young, inexperienced guys with a chance to perform and potentially lock down some World Cup spots. So yeah, sure, you've got some guys still at home doing whatever they're doing throughout the time. But you've got some young, exciting cricketers from perform through domestic cricket now. They've got their chance to down that spot, so it's exciting for them. I guess the depth of Australian cricket giving these guys some experience playing against a really strong West Indian side, certainly the T20s, and now moving on to the one days. So yeah, I guess I've certainly got my own opinions that I'll keep to myself, but yeah, for the moment it is what it is. We've got this group here. We're looking to still win series, and we've got some things to improve on from the T20s, which hopefully we can do in these one day games.
So what was the thought processes that you went through about yourself in terms of the IPL in recent years and the opportunity to obviously had big earns for a couple of months' work compared to sort of getting yourself right, and obviously being a fast bowler takes a heavy toll on your body?
Yeah, it does. It's I guess the way that I've always looked at it is, or for a few reasons. I'm a multi-format player, and those are a few of those weeks where we can refresh and get away from the game and refresh mentally and physically. At least my wife plays as well, and we have conflicting schedules, and it's a lot of the time that's the only period of time through a year we can spend together at home. So there are a number of the reasons. Spending some time with family and getting away from cricket just to refresh are probably a couple of reasons. And I guess over the last few years I've used that time to do so I can be at my best or be ready to go for Australian duty and not have to pick and choose through tours. So that was certainly again the case the previous IPL, and I'll just keep assessing it year by year and see what the schedule looks like and where I'm at with my cricket and my body and then just I guess see how we go from there.
Because being a multi-format player obviously creates some interest sort of leading into the summer, because the World T20 sort of, if you still have to do 2 weeks of quarantine, then run straight into that first test in Afghanistan. Can you see yourself or any of the bowlers being ready to go in a test match coming out of quarantine and without any sort of workload sort of behind you?
We'll still have some workload stuff there. It's not like we're not playing cricket, but yeah, look, it creates an interesting challenge. One I'm sure Cricket Australia are certainly working on in the background, along with a few governments, if you like, and what that might look like for the start of the summer. In terms of the bowling and the workloads, it wouldn't be the first time that certainly myself, Josh and Pat haven't played any red ball cricket leading into a summer. So that certainly isn't a new one for us. We've done that in the past, and whether it be finding ways to either work on your red ball skills or get some workloads up in around obviously that period of T20 cricket in the World Cup. No doubt they'll be pushing for some sort of exemptions in terms of quarantine, where we have done in the last couple of stints, guys coming back from the IPL, the Australian team coming back from the UK. We all trained in quarantine there, and there were periods of time where we were able to get our workloads up. That's something that I was involved in the 2 weeks we had in Adelaide after the UK tour. It was predominantly red ball focused training and workload training. So yeah, look, obviously at this stage in time, and what I'm aware of that period could look like, it's almost either an overlap or straight out of quarantine into red ball cricket. So look, it's there's a lot of water to go under the bridge there in terms of organisation and that sort of thing. But yeah, look, Test cricket's still the pinnacle, certainly in my eyes. So yeah, hopefully we can sneak both a World Cup and a Test match in, but we'll play the cricket in front of us at the minute, and hopefully Cricket Australia and the likes can organise that for us as well later down the track.
And last one from me, the 6 tests in the summer, can you see the quicks or managing, or any of the quicks playing the full 6 tests? And I was a long way away, obviously, so I didn't know how you were feeling, but from the outside looking in, you look pretty cooked, you particularly at that last test against India.
Yeah, well, I think that's probably the nature of Test match cricket. Navigating a few bubbles and whatnot, and certainly the I guess a few outside things going on in my life away from cricket as well. So yeah, look, it throws up another interesting discussion there in terms of 6 Test matches, and obviously what we saw through through the last summer, we had a few guys, obviously with the squad. Michael Nessa was there for the whole time, and he certainly continues to impress in domestic cricket and waiting for his chance on the international scene. James Pattinson as well, who was around the group. So we certainly have a group of fast bowlers. There's certainly other guys around pushing for selection, along with those two and the three of us who've been around a little while as well. So yeah, I think it goes on to points that Peter Siddle mentioned the other week, and something that we did in England was have a squad of bowlers, and I think only Pat was the only one who played that whole Ashes series in England, and they sort of, whether it was through matchups, through conditions, or the physical capacity of guys to get through series, that's certainly, I guess, one that's probably on the discussion table for the staff and for the selectors. No doubt all the players will want to play every game, so that's a hard one to take the ball out of someone's hand. But I think certainly the mindset of the fast bowlers is wanting to win series. So I guess we'll see how that pans out through the rest of the summer, and obviously with some cricket before the test match summer as well, that we'll see how guys are going.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mel. We'll do a couple more online, and then we'll throw over to Louis. We've just got a radio interview that Mitch has got to get to. So, Lockie McCurdy.
Thanks, Mitch. You spoke before the series about finding a rhythm in T20 cricket. How do you feel after getting those 3-4 matches under your belt?
Yeah, it was nice to play a few games on the back of one another. It's obviously quite a quick series, if you like, with the 5 games and a couple of practice games all in the space of sort of 12 days or something like that. So I think there was still a large amount of good stuff from the group. Obviously the results or the series scoreline probably didn't reflect that, but we certainly should have won the first game, probably outplayed in those next 2, and then picked up the win in the 4th. And then again, it was probably an indifferent game in the 5th. So I think there was still a huge amount of positives for this younger, inexperienced group, and a lot to learn from. And it's about improving each game. Personally, it was nice to get a bit of a rhythm and I guess not so much work on my plans, but go back to what I see as my own strengths and sticking to that for the game 2, 3, and 4. So it was nice to get a few back-to-back games in this format, and certainly something or some rhythm to take into the one-day games. And then obviously we've got the 5 games against Bangladesh. So another good learning opportunity for this group, and hopefully a series that we can put those learnings into series wins.
I guess I was just going to quickly ask about Mitch Marsh. Obviously big positive for him, leading run scorer and also leading wicket taker. What did you make of his series?
Yeah, fantastic. It's awesome to see Mitchie get the rewards of a lot of hard work. I think he's starting to, well, he certainly has over a little bit of time, but more so than he has done in the past. He's starting to really back his ability and his skill, and I think that just came to the forefront in this series with bat and ball. He was fantastic, and certainly a huge positive for the group was his form and performances with bat and ball. So yeah, look, a huge reward for no doubt a lot of hard work for Mitch, and it was fantastic to see him do so well.
Dan Brettig, welcome on board to Fairfax, Mr. Brettig.
Thank you, Cole, and g'day, Mitch. Just a question about, I suppose, role specialisation. Often you find in the Australian T20 team, guys who may have a specific role in there for their club side, their BBL side, come in and maybe asked to do something different for Australia. You talked before about bowling at the death. Is it something that you do consistently, and that obviously helps you? So how do you see that, I suppose, challenge for other players coming in, where they may occasionally have to do something different to what they've done in other T20 cricket, say at club level?
Interesting question. I guess it's something that perhaps in Australian T20 teams in the past, we haven't really haven't done that so well, perhaps. Whether it be, you sort of have teams where you've got 5, 6 openers in your batting lineup who come out of the highest run scorers of BBL or guys that have performed really well in international cricket. It makes for an interesting discussion, I guess, when you're picking guys who bat in their certain positions or whatnot. So I mean, as we said before, a huge positive was Mitch Marsh batting at 3 and probably having one of his best series of his career, and what that looks like for him moving forward into the Bangladesh series or also into the T20 World Cup with potentially a few guys coming back into the group as well. I guess without knowing what other guys feel of the situation, I guess personally I've probably been in the same role through my whole career, and whether it's one or two up front, maybe potentially one in the middle and a couple at the death, that's sort of been my role throughout. So from my point of view, it's I can't really speak for others on how they feel about being in different positions or changing roles. Clearly they picked for Australia for a reason. They're some of the best T20 players in the country, and certainly for some of the best in the world. So it's about adapting to what the team needs and adapting to different conditions, and hopefully that in turn results in series and tournament wins.
Thanks, Mitch.
We'll go over to Louis live here in Barbados. Louis live.
Mitch.
Louis live.
Mitch, if Finchie were to miss these ODIs or any of them, how do you reckon the supposed Ollie Carey is the vice captain for the last ODI you played, presumably it's him? How would he go, or if it's not him, who would do that?
Yeah, it makes for an interesting question. Obviously, you got Alex there. Josh Hazelwood was a vice captain for a period of time there. Matthew Wade's captain before. Moses is captain plenty of games in the past. So you got a few guys there with certainly with some leadership experience. I can't remember. I think Wadey said it the other day. It makes it a bit easier captaining in international cricket when guys sort of know their roles or the way the team operates. So if Finchie was to miss, I'm sure whoever takes on the role will do a good job, and we'll get behind him and play our roles, and hopefully results in a win as well.
From a bowling point of view, it's a pretty inexperienced group outside of you, Josh, and Adam's out. But do you kind of feel like you three, depending on how much you play, take a bit of a leadership role, given there's probably one or two spots there to less experienced ODI guys?
Yeah, I think it just naturally comes about chatting around training and off the field, and I guess that's the nature of these hubs. Is you can't really leave the hotel, so you spend a bit more time together as a group, and whether it be chatting after play or chatting through the days around the hotel. We've got guys that have got a little bit of experience now in international cricket or been around obviously this tour for a little bit. So it's you sort of keep yourself accessible to them and check how they're going around training, that sort of thing. But certainly those ongoing discussions happen quite naturally anyway around a cricket tour. But for Josh, Zamps and I, obviously playing a fair amount more white ball cricket than potentially the rest of them, whether it's checking in on plans before games or whatnot, see how guys are going. We'll keep going about our cricket the way we see we can do our best role for the team, but in terms of looking after the rest, I think that naturally occurs on tours like these where you're locked up in a hub or bubble anyway.
For I guess the younger batters, Josh and Felipe, Ben McDermott, looks like the numbers probably say they have to play. What have you seen from those two as some younger batters who might be playing their first games on Tuesday? Yeah, look, they've obviously had a few weeks now to sort of see what conditions in the West Indies are like, and I guess we'll probably see a slightly better set of wickets here in Barbados than we did in St. Lucia. Still that wind that we get across the ground, but some smallish boundaries, but we're still promoting nice aggressive or attacking play, and we want to see that intent, and they've performed on the domestic scene for a long time now, and certainly in Big Bash cricket as well, and if they get the opportunity for Australia, I'm sure they'll take it with both hands and give all they can to score some runs to a winning cause. Just finally, it seems like it was very much a T20 squad that kind of got picked for this series, and now you've kind of got the ODIs. Do you kind of think that's inevitable going forward with tours and with bubbles? Like we're going to get, whether it's the other way around, working to a World Cup, an ODI World Cup year, we're going to kind of get funding situations like that. Yeah, potentially. Fortunately, I don't have to pick teams. So, I guess what have we got? 20 guys here. I guess you're looking at covering different spots if guys get injured, or if you want to certainly with the build up to a T20 World Cup, you obviously trying different combinations, whether it be balance of team, matchups against West Indies, whatnot. So yeah, it makes for an interesting discussion about, I guess, if guys are suited to one format or the other. I think we certainly cover all the bases in both formats in this group. You've got plenty of all-rounders. You've got a good mix of fast and spin bowlers. You've got some experienced batters in amongst some inexperienced batters to learn off one another as well. So yeah, look, I think it's certainly a group of guys that we've got here to win series for Australia. At the same time, it's about building that experience and hopefully, that those learnings can happen really quickly, and we can develop some really successful international players along the way.
Awesome. Thanks, Louis. Thanks everyone on the line for joining us. Hopefully that connection was strong enough. And thanks obviously to Mitchell Starc for joining us tonight, and we'll catch all you guys tomorrow.
Thanks, Mitch. Thanks, Cole.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys.